Friends, fans, heroes of mine, welcome back. Um, gosh, I get, I don't get a lot of questions, but I guess I do. So a lot of people, I have to explain what I do. Let me fix my chair. And, I've gotten to where I just tell people I'm a life enhancement coach. And that covers so much, right? But what I really, the way I can tell that it's a good fit between a potential client and myself is when that person is at their rock bottom and they know it and they want help coming back up from the bottom. I've been there. I've been there a couple times. And I really wish I had someone who could have helped me like I'm able to help other people. So that's truly what my goal is. Like I don't want someone who just wants to lose weight or just wants to, learn to eat better. Like that's such a small, easy way to do it. I mean, that's kind of what Google is for. All those answers are there. But people want to, they still think there's a magic bullet or an easy way to do something. And that's not the case. Whatever your goal is, if it's worth it, it should take a lot to get it done. But for most people, it's deciding in here they need to change and then being honest with themselves as far as what the problem is. That's kind of what I had to do for me. I realized that I was at my rock bottom and there was no more room to go that direction. And I now had to go that direction. And making that choice, it was just like an epiphany, like problems are easy, solutions are hard. And finding that solution and then, for me, letting go of my ego is keeping me from succeeding. So I was so worried about what people thought. But it's making that, to me, it's making that intellectual decision in here that whatever I've been doing is incorrect. And for me to be up here, these things need to change. And I know I've said this before, but like I was like, well, everybody who is successful, comfortable in life, they all had several things in common. Number one is they get up very early. Number two is they meditate. I was just like, Roger that. I started doing that. Even with my, my triathlon season this year, this is probably the more serious experience, attention I've given to this since 2004, 2003. And it just took me being honest with myself that whatever I was doing before wasn't working. It wasn't serving me. And I know I told you guys I'm not doing anything this year that doesn't bring me joy. And I've been in situations where it just didn't give me that joy feeling, but I had to stop and realize what it was and then go, I need to have a discussion with people. I've got clients that, once they realize they need to change, either health wise because of medical reasons or their business needs a boost, whatever it is. I come in as an honest set of eyes and just really tell them kind of the best way to go about it and help them understand and deal with it emotionally, intellectually, not fly off the handle. Passive aggressive never gets you anywhere. Like I constantly, when people act that way and they send that email or that text and they're trying to be passive aggressive, like it doesn't bother me. I understand they're probably having a worse day than they're trying to make me have. So, it doesn't bother me. But if you think about it, if you're always low on money and you're not making $1 million a year, or you're not making whatever you need to make, it's not because the world's against you. It's not because your education. It's not because of anything you're actually making up as an excuse. It's because of right here, you haven't chosen to change to be doing it like that. And anybody who's successful, it's not a top secret thing they did or an anomaly, right? They all you have to do is find that the recipe they use to make the perfect meal or follow their plan, just do what they did back then. And if you can just figure that out, then you'll be where you need to be. But I really enjoy helping a lot of people. As far as personal training clients go, a lot of times I think they just enjoy, they know enough. They don't really need me after a certain point, but I think they enjoy the interaction. And they want to just keep going. And that's fine too. But I really, people that want that, make that change, and they want to be the best they could possibly be, to me is the best case scenario as far as them and I being a good fit. And I've had plenty of people that were not good fits. Um, and now I've really learned to tell. And it's one of those things too. If you have a gut feeling about a person or situation, you're probably right. We can always talk ourselves out of, well, I don't know. And I don't know that I've ever been wrong in that. So I try to really trust that gut feeling. And now it's one of those things, you know, yeah, it's just, I enjoy those people that want to make that change. They want to be that they're at rock bottom and they want to be doing better than what they did. And sometimes they're repeating the same patterns. I mean, sometimes it's just who knows the reasons, but if they're honest with me, like when I'm getting information on the intake, then you know, I can I can usually let them know at that point if I can help them or not. Um, but it's just, I just I can't stress that enough. Like people need to be honest with themselves. Like what's really bothering you? Why are you where you are? Why does your job stress you out? And heard this just the other day. People that are stressed out about their job, it kind of makes no sense. Your job, if you died tomorrow, would have someone else in the spot, right? They would, it's not, you don't own the company. You're not the the person whose name's on the sign. So why would you let anything stress you out? And so many people just let all these little things get to them. And I think it's a lot to do with their ego. I got a friend of mine, she's just recently kind of got in the world of consulting. And I tried to really help her as far as her, you know, over delivering and just being at their beck and call all the time, and how that's kind of the wrong attitude or message. But it's also her she doesn't have a lot of confidence in what she's doing, so she's trying to overplease. And that's where I've always just had that mindset of that I'm the best. If in the past, if I wasn't confident in what I was doing, it was not serving me, and I've learned to recognize that. But it's one of those things, you what are you really feeling here? Because then she puts herself in the situation of trying to please everybody, and then she can't please herself, and she's stressed out and no time for this, and she's kind of is ridiculous if you think about it. I mean, a lot of times in those situations, both parties are worried about losing the other. So it's a matter of a conversation that how everybody's feeling, and then it'll diffuse that. But you always have to be, I told a client this the other day, you always have to be learning, meaning you always have to be analyzing yourself and understanding kind of what makes you tick, what makes you happy, what makes you unhappy. Like you got to know you, and you got to constantly be learning you, because you keep changing and growing, hopefully. And you got to constantly be looking at you. And that goes back to what are you feeling? Like so many times we just don't know why we eat what we eat. We don't know why we act the way we do, unless, the wiring programming that was there before. And it just goes back to, wait, why am I really feeling this way? And for me, meditation has helped me really stop my brain and kind of think about it. And I think that's, you know, that's what's really calmed me down in life is meditating on a regular basis. And it's so easy to do. And there's a zillion free programs online. Like the reason people don't makes no sense. There's definitely, you get more out of meditating for 15 minutes than watching TV for 2 hours. So I think people just don't realize. And it's funny, it's like sometimes people just don't want to listen to someone who is in this position. You know, if someone is here and you're here and you want to be up at that higher level, um, all you have to do is do what they do. You know, if someone just ate half as healthy as I did and worked out a tenth of the time that I do, they would be in a much better position. If they just understood how food affects them, like even though I'm plant based, not all plant based foods are good for me because they tear me up. Like they just don't agree with my system. So I figured all that out, but it's just a matter of me understanding when I eat something, then how am I feeling, right? I'm constantly learning about my body. And I've learned so much about my body in the last 6 months that I wasn't being honest with myself, you know? Um, but yeah, I was, you know, deciding to make that change was probably the toughest thing I've done. And there's so many people, I really, it's really hard to be around people who don't want to be better than what they are now. And that makes no sense. But I can't tolerate the people that are negative, you know, like negativity, it doesn't serve me. It kind of drives me crazy and I don't like things to bother me. So why would I put myself in that situation? You know, anyway, I think I've rambled, guys. I don't even know what all I said on this one. I just started, gosh, I don't know. Be honest with yourself. Anyway, y'all, please share the message if it's helped you in any way. Subscribe, like, whatever platform you're on. And I appreciate y'all tuning in. I appreciate y'all being my friend. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.